Guys, what's up? This is McAllister's podcast. I'm your host, always Cole McAllister, number 207 in the books. Starting out another year. I guess, yes. Starting out another year because today's New Year's, yes. 2024. It's going to be interesting. We'll talk about that maybe at the end. I don't know. Part of me kind of wants to hold the political commentary until dry January, but we'll see. We'll see where my inner rantings take us. But no, what I wanted to talk about today, what I wanted to start the episode talking about today is just kind of talking about something I do every year since last year, which is dry January. I always tried to do the Sober October thing because, that for those who don't know, that's the Joe Rogan's big thing is he'll get him and his friends together and they'll all just be sober for a month. And look, I'm not going to lie. I think like a lot of people, that was a big inspiration for me to start something like this, right? I think that was back in, that probably would have been all the way back in like 2020, 2021. I was trying to do that. I've only had one successful streak of, not taking the complete 31 days off of not doing anything. And that was actually the time where I also quit drinking. In the middle of that month, I kind of just decided, I'm done with this. This actually is pretty okay, not drinking. And yeah, that's kind of where I'm at now. So it's 2024, dry January number 2 dose, as they say in Mexico. But yeah, so I'm here. We this morning I did a little less than a 2.5 mile walk, which I know somebody's shouting "Yay!" in the background. But I'm gonna try to do some running and doing a lot of yoga. This is actually my 3rd day in a row I've done yoga. I technically started kind of doing the workout stuff December 30th, kind of just that Saturday before the new year. I figured, okay, because for me, I think the motivation helps when I kind of am already kind of weaning off and kind of already getting into that mindset as January 1st comes. Like I have a really hard time just resetting really quick. Just being like, okay, December 31st, I'm going to fucking party, get fucking wasted, and then January 1st, just boom. Like, I don't operate like that. Like, I need some kind of process, I guess. Or, so just some kind of commitment, and like this last year I was going to do Sober October. Which, like, in hindsight would have been fucking crazy, I think. Like, taking 2 months out of the year's sobriety, I think that would have been, that would have maybe sent me over the edge. And the reason I didn't, honestly, the main reason why I didn't was because of my job. I was taking pictures for schools. I was dealing with fucking from 3-year-olds to 18-year-olds, just stupid, shitty, dumb kids. Just dealing with that. So that was what I was doing. And just in the middle of that, I just, like I told Lolo, like we had started the podcast by the, the Unhinged, Uncensored every Tuesday, 2 p.m. We had started that podcast already, and I was kind of telling him, like, yeah, I was going to do Sober October, and then I think he came back, like 2 days, like this October 2nd or 3rd or something, and I was just, like, loading up a bowl. I'm like, yeah, fuck this shit, I'm not doing it. But no, that's not the case this year, I think also being kind of in the winter and being kind of in isolation really helps. I do kind of grapple with this in my mind, right? This does seem to be the one positive that I can give alcohol, is that it can help a lot, especially for someone who's like on the spectrum or anxious or whatever. I do really think it can help a little bit. It can give you just like if you're able to control it and just have like a beer or two, like that could massively improve your night over just like being stone cold sober. Because that's something that I've really grappled with over this last year. is like I have found myself. I'm like talking like a fifth grader. I don't even know what the fuck. I found myself kind of reverting to introvert. Not reverting, but going into kind of an introverted state, having a harder time going out to social events, especially when there's drinking around. I didn't do a single thing for New Year's. There were a couple different things I could have done, but I just stayed home with Molly, and I don't even regret it. I mean, it was a great time. Like we watched Pearl, we watched fucking played some games, watched Little House. Like fuck, it was a good time. It was a good time to just relax and chill with the lady, and that's more important than anything, right? Than partying, anyways. But there is some part of me that kind of wonders to what point. Like to what point does not drinking actually damage you, right? But that I guess I shouldn't talk about that today. That's probably not a good train of thought to start talking about, right? Just be like, hey, we're doing this thing, but by the way, it's bullshit. No, I don't believe that at all. I really think, and I don't think this should be like. I don't want anyone to take away from this, like, I should quit everything I'm doing. I should not do any substances or any of these kind of, like, whatever. I don't believe that at all. That's why I take, like, a month off every year to just kind of reset, to kind of maintain that. And because really the only thing I'm quitting is cannabis. I don't drink. I don't masturbate or watch porn. I mean, that's something that, well, I did. Today is actually day 4. I'm only on day 4 of watching, or not watching, but like just viewing pornographic images. So that's kind of an L. I'm not gonna lie. Like I kind of going into this new year, like today I hit 365 days of no drinking, and I don't even give a shit because I got that glaring 4. I got that glaring 4 looking at me. And that's just me too, right? Like me too. That's just me, just me kind of not being good at, about taking things with stride, I guess. I don't know. I lost my train of thought in the middle of that. Great quality content here. Quality content in the Cow Stars podcast. No, but I guess at the end of the day, I'm doing this to improve myself, to just kind of take the time, and to try to really see through those first 31 days and maybe learn some, here's my point. One of the things that I'm trying to, for me personally, and maybe none of you want to hear about this, if so, just fucking shut the podcast off. I don't care. If you don't want to, God damn it, I can't. I'm telling you, my brain is like, I'm not even smoking. My brain's fucking cooked. I don't even know what's going on. But I think one of the things that I'm trying to learn for myself is acceptance, which also involves like trying to be more positive about myself. Love myself more, and this is something I have historically always have had a hard time with, ever since I was a little kid. When I was in second grade, we'd had some English thing where we were writing sentences, and they told us we had to write when we start out a sentence. You have to, and you're like, it's like I did this, etc. Like you start with a capital I, right? And like I insisted. I was like, but I'm not important. So I refuse. I started with the lowercase I, like intentionally referring to myself. And that was back in second grade. So I mean, from it's not gotten better. It's not gotten better from that point, right? And look, like that's been a huge block, a huge mental block that's made this whole process extremely frustrating. The process of sobriety is from pornography is just being able to really accept your reality and yourself. As I'm sitting here talking, it sounds like bullshit because I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet. Like I'm still working through it. I'm like, when I can get to therapy, it seems like can kind of seem like a slow chisel, but that's just life, right? Like I think people kind of, they want mental health to be like this fucking the snap of the finger solution. It's not. It's like fucking decades of work, right? For real change. So that's what I'm struggling with. That's what I'm battling right now. And I guess with this month of dry January, with dry January number 2, that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to be positive. And I think one of the things that makes it so hard for me to be able to look at myself positively is how easy it is, especially in this day and age, to have an ego that's bigger than Mount Everest, right? Like I feel like half the fucking people that are on social media that are doing these, like you can just see that they have such a toxically overly positive view about themselves. Like they think they're like the shit. Like they just deserve everything handed to them on a platter, right? Because they're so great. And I don't know. I do really truly wonder how many steps are between hating yourself and like overly loving yourself. I really don't know if it's that many in between. Like, and you're probably listening to this and you think it's bullshit, but like this is just how it works in my brain. Like, I don't see myself loving myself without also thinking I'm like the fucking shit, right? And I don't think that, but like I have a hard time wrapping my head around the idea of like loving yourself without becoming an egotistical maniac. Like there's a fine line there. There's a balance there somewhere. And you know, I think part of that's also like the comedian in me, right? Like I think a lot of people who, you know, try to be funny, try to be comedic, a lot of times they will go for the lowest hanging fruit, which is themselves, right? So like, you know, you could, as a comedian, a really good comedian could do the first 15 minutes just shitting on himself, just calling himself fat, his dick is small, whatever, right? Like, so I think there's something to that as well that kind of makes it that much harder. Where it's like, okay, am I going to also sacrifice my edginess, my content, the quality of my content, whatever? Is that also something that's going to be sacrificed in this journey to quote unquote, you know, love myself or whatever? So yeah, I don't know. Dry January. If anyone is participating in it as well, along with me, please drop it in the description. Please let me know what's going on. You know, I don't smoke weed anymore, so I got for the next 30 and a half days. So if anybody has some issues, they want to reach out to me, we'll do it together, man. We'll do Dry January together. This is also kind of a weird setup, by the way. Usually I've rearranged the entire downstairs here because we're going to be finally getting the funds and that kind of thing together to get the new spot set up. I know we're kind of doing what Joe Rogan did, right? Like he had the red vagina as his temporary setup, and then he went to the theater space station or whatever he's in now. But we're kind of doing that. So the other day I hung up a bunch of art and posters and stuff behind me. I was like, fuck it, we'll just, because I don't know, the wall was just looking bare behind me for a while. But anyways, Dry January, man. If anyone has any insight or anything, I guess let me just say this. Some of the things that I want to do with my time, I want to write more. I want to, I have a couple screenplays in mind that I'm working on right now. And one's like a short film. So I want to at least finish that by the end of the month and maybe, look into that in the future. Although I don't know, I gotta it's hard as a creative to like keep all your projects on a timeline, right? It's really easy to like start 8 things at once. and then have only 3 of them come to fruition. I mean, that's actually a pretty good ratio, right? If you're an artist, you have you have 8 different things, and 3 of them become something. That's like Childish Gambino level right there. Fuck. Ratio wise, like I have like 20 different projects that are in my head, like all the time, and I'm like, well, 10 of these are never gonna be made because they're too edgy. I don't have money or whatever, and you know, that's life. That's life for an artist, I guess. So yeah, I plan on doing that. Like I said, like I kind of said in the beginning, maybe planning on working out every single day of January. I'm doing some kind of workout. And it's gonna get more and more intense as the month goes on. It's gonna be grueling. I may try to do some more, or like, you know, post on social media more about it. Check Instagram for that. That's probably where my go-to will be for that. And yeah, so doing that, more podcasting, where I'm going to really try to take this month to just try to stack up on episodes, pre-record a bunch of stuff, for all 3 of our podcasts that we have. Yeah. And, I had one more thing that we were going to try to do. I don't fucking remember. Read more. Oh yeah, read more. I definitely want to read more, and I want to watch more films, and more specifically, I want to watch newer films. Like I really want to take a streak where it's 85-90% just new content. Like I really want to just like I feel like this last year was a lot of rewatching, which is great. I love that, but like you kind of like, you know, Killers of the Flower Moon. I still didn't see that. The Poor Things. I fucking forgot that whole movie that movie already came out, because it was supposed to come on my birthday and I was really excited for it, and then they pushed it back, and then, you know, it was in the madness of Christmas and all that, and I wasn't gonna fucking try to go to the movie during that. Poor Things. Asteroid City. I still haven't seen Asteroid City, so yeah, I need to play catch up on last year. I really want to try to get ahead of the curve. You know what would be awesome this year if I could like actually. Here's the goal, and it won't happen, but like, I want to try to get close. Watch almost all of the movies that are going to be announced at the Oscars and the Golden Globes and all that. Like actually have an idea, because I feel like that's the problem every time, right? Every time we get to the award ceremonies, which I don't give a shit about, but it's at least interesting to know like what people think are the best. Like, yeah, there's a lot of like, you know, like political bias and things like that go into how Hollywood selects their movies, or how the Academy selects their movies. But it's still a pretty good determination of like what the, you know, 10 to 30 best movies of that year were, right? And also there are other sources and such, right? But I don't know. I do kind of really want to actually have a good idea about that this year. Yeah, 2024, everybody. How are we feeling about it? How the fuck are we feeling about 2024, huh? You better know. You better know right now. It's going to be good? Is it going to be bad? Is it going to be okay? Is Biden going to be the president from 4 more years? Are we going to get Trump again? Is RFK going to come in at the last minute and tear the entire establishment to the ground? No. That's definitely not going to happen. I don't know. You know, I was talking to my partner about this, Molly. I was talking to Molly about this yesterday. Kind of just about, you know, because I think the thing that really sucks about 2024 is everybody's going into it knowing that there's a political pretext to it, right? We glanced at the, like we watched it for 15 seconds. It wasn't even happening, but, they had the ball drop that they were announcing last night. And like, again, just there for a little bit, but like they had like the video of everything going on right next to this like political cartoon with like Trump and I think like who's the fucking guy from Jersey? Who's the fat guy from Jersey? I can never fucking remember his name. But a lot of those people, and it's already happening, man. They've been starting this really since before 2024. They've really been thinking about this. this is a terrible note, but I really got shit. So we'll be right back, everybody. Oh, fuck me. All right, we're back. Really starting this fucking new year out on a shitty note, I should say. I literally, like, I thought right before the podcast, like, I should try to take a shit because I'm going to probably have to take a shit in the middle of it. And it did. It happened. Quality content. If you guys want to see the unfiltered, uncensored, unhinged version of me shitting on the toilet, subscribe to the Patreon right now. Link in the description. So 2024 politics. I guess, I don't know. I debate whether even talking about this, because this is not, if you're someone who is like me and is easily emotional by what happens in the world politically, maybe, you know, whatever. But, you know, I really do. I kind of held this belief for the last couple of years, really ever since the midterms. I think it's going to be Joe Biden. I think we're going to get another 4 years or the equivalent, whoever the DNC decides to put in there, if he dies or something. I do want to say this, and I'm not even trying to be like facetious or anything. Like, I am truly shocked that Joe Biden is still alive. Like, I remember on the debate stage, like 4 years ago, people were like, how is this man can get through? And they did it. They I almost kind of want to give the federal government an award, because like they catapulted this man with a combination of what, like Adderall, the cure for cancer, and like crack cocaine. Like what? Like, is Hunter just giving him a bunch of cocaine? Is that how he's getting through his day? Like it's truly, I don't even like watch the man anymore. The last thing I heard about Biden was that he gave a bunch of money to Israel, like, you know, going over Congress, which is kind of an interesting power move, right? Like you're really kind of leaning on the idea that like your base is all going to vote for you. But I mean, they are. I think he's right. Or not he, like the people who run him, people who are puppeteering him, the DNC, you know, I like, they are right. Like, I do think that we live in a complacent society, and I think every single person in Iowa, in Des Moines, could vote red on election day, and it won't matter. We'll still have Joe Biden as our president. Look, I mean, the whole voting system is just rigged and fucked, and you know, the idea of the, you know, just the entire idea, right, that like you could have this many billions of people. Millions, not billions. Have millions of people just all vote for two people, and that's gonna be just. I don't know. I don't know. I just think it's kind of ridiculous to think that. Okay, we're gonna find one person to represent all of these millions of people, and we're gonna trust this many people's voices and judgments. And look, I mean, I think there's a lot of, you know, if you look into, I need to learn the name of the experiment. I can't talk. Learn the name of the experiment, because, it's like a basic psychological thing, right? Like they took a group of people and, you know, they took like a large, I think it was like 20 or like 100 people, right? It took a pretty large group of people, had one or two people go in. So the original question was like 2 + 2 = 4. And by the end, they managed to convince the entire crowd of people that 2 + 2 = 5. Because humans are so dependent on, you know, being liked and accepted, that they won't vote for what's right. They'll vote for what's convenient for them in the moment, what makes them feel good in the moment, what everybody else is doing in the moment. And that is why I think we will once again have Joe Biden as president. Yeah, because I don't see Trump coming back. Like, I just don't see it. It might happen. Like 6 months from now, he might be like the top G again, and my jaw will be dropped again. I'll be like, what the fuck? America is really retarded enough to put this guy through again. Look, like I voted for Trump the first time, right? I voted for him in 2016. I was 19. I was a dumb kid. I was sick of the establishment. I wanted someone to come in and fuck it up. And he said he was going to do that. He didn't. But, he said he was. And at the time, a lot of people fucking fell for that shit. But, 2020 came around. He threw his entire base under the bus. The entire fucking thing under the bus. Shoom! Hey, like, he was telling everybody to go to the Capitol. And then the next day, he was like, I wish we had a producer if we could pull up the clip. But I remember hearing him talk about how, and you could tell he had like a gun to his head, right? He was just like, how disgraced the people were who charged the Capitol. Like, it was such, like, Trump is just a phony and a fake, just like all of these other guys. Like, please. Like, honestly, even someone like RFK, like, I'm not going to say that man's like 100%. Like, he's not the Messiah, okay? There's probably some fucking weird shit with him. He's a Kennedy. There's probably some fucking weird shit behind the scenes with him too, right? If I were to pick right now, it would be RFK. Like, that would be my vote. But does he have a chance? I mean, especially running as an independent? I don't think so. So I don't know. I really do debate whether even to vote this year. That was kind of something me and Molly talked about. We're like, do we even really want to vote? Is it even worth it? These 2023 elections, the local elections, like, that was something that I was telling everybody on social media, like these are the elections that people need to turn up to. I mean, look, like how Des Moines spends their tax dollars. Like, that impacts you, like, people living in Des Moines, that impacts us way more than whoever the fuck the president's going to be. I mean, you can make the argument, like, does that, impact inflation and that kind of stuff? Yeah, sure. Like, that's definitely true. But again, do we really have a say? Do we really have a say in how that all goes down in Des Moines, Iowa? When looking at DC, when you look at, the entire, like, you have both of the coasts besides Florida and like the bottom, like, southern half of the East Coast. Besides that, you have like every fucking coast that is like automatically going to vote for them, right? And then you probably have half of the people throughout the rest of the country that are going to vote for them too, right? Like, blue is the complacent vote, so that's who's going to win. It's true. I think the only reason Trump won was because Hillary Clinton was so fucking unlikable and so fucking bad. I don't know. It's kind of it's weird kind of even analyzing how that happened. And I think we're just in a different time. I mean, that was 8 years ago. So, I mean, I've been married and divorced since then. Motherfuckers, like, come on. Like, it's so much has changed in the last 8 years. I don't see his base coming back like that. It could happen. But look, I bet like Ramaswamy, I think his name is Vivek. Like, it took me 4 months to learn that motherfucker's name, which is why he's not going to win. Like, he's fucking weird and kooky too. He was like, I don't know, like he was like this fucking pharma guy. And all these Republicans, like all the people that were like against the vaccine, now they're just like, yeah, Vivek, man. This guy who like fucking started a bio company in Saudi Arabia. Fuck yeah. This is the guy that's going to be the Republican kid. Oh my God. Fucking weird times we live in, man. It's funny. 2024. This was a bad direction. I feel bad. I feel like we should have had more positive things to talk about for 2024, but I don't know. Who knows? Maybe that's just where we're at right now. Am I determining, and am I right now recording, while I'm recording this podcast, am I determining how the country's going to feel? No, I'm not. But no, it's interesting. It's just interesting where we're at. Interesting the time we're in. Why did I quit smoking? Why? I'm just calling my guy right now. Fuck. Fuck January 2024 starting right now, motherfuckers. No, I'm kidding. No, I mean, like, in all seriousness, I know the political stuff is stressful. I know it's going to stress me the fuck out. I'm joking right now, but literally in 12 hours, they're going to put something online and I'm going to be mad about it. You know, and I don't even think it's completely unfounded, right? Like, I think, you know, cut people some slack that kind of, that get so fired up, because you have to remember, even if what you're getting bogged into is dumb, which it is most of the time, it comes from a real place, right? Like, what happens politically matters. Like, being informed about what's happening, like, that matters. Like, you should be, maybe you shouldn't, you know, invest your entire time into it, but you should at least, like, maybe, I don't know, put like a half hour into your week. Like, start there. Because, like, the average American puts 5 minutes a week into politics. If we could raise that by 25 minutes, the intellectual capacity that would be strengthened in America would be, it would be uncalculable what that would be like. But anyways, I totally understand people being upset about the election or upset about what's happening politically. It totally makes sense. My best advice, just write down like 5 or 10 things that you really like to do that don't involve politics or social media or anything, and just fucking focus on those. Because you know what? Like, I'm just gonna tell you this right now. Whoever the president's going to be at the end of this year, you or I are not going to be able to change that or make a difference about that. It's not going to happen. And you know, I think that's something, right? I think that's something that really that's kind of the fucked up thing about this whole system, right? Is that they convince people that your vote matters and that, like, you're actually going to make a change, which also like heightens the emotional intensity of it, right? Because when you actually believe that, and when, like, you believe you're, like, putting something into it, and then it fails, you're like, it's like having a rug pulled out from underneath you, right? But if you know, this is kind of nihilistic type of thinking, right? Like, if you just don't care, if you just kind of, you know, I'm gonna focus on what's around me, I'm gonna focus on my home, my partner, my pets, keeping my house clean, going to work, making money, feeding myself. Like, if I just focus on these things, why do I care about who's going to be elected in Washington? They're going to fuck me either way, right? I mean, they might fuck me. They might take, 20% of my money. They might take 60% of my money, but, like, either way, they're going to fuck me. And however I vote is not going to change that. And it's a sad reality, and I wish I had a better answer, but I don't. So I think that's all anybody can do. They just gotta grin and bear it. I don't know how I even feel about this episode, guys. I don't know how I feel about it. I don't even check the YouTube analytics because I have a suspicious feeling that everybody drops up after the first 30 seconds of these podcasts. But I mean, yeah, if you're still here, you're fucking OG. Drop it in the comments. Fuck. I might as well talk about it. Last thing before we wrap up. Something I kind of like to start doing, when I do these solo episodes, is movie of the week. And I gotta give it. This is a rewatch for sure. But for New Year's, Molly and I last night watched Pearl. T West movie, which I want to do X for the Guts and Gore podcast. I want to do X before we do that movie, because even though it's a prequel, it's technically the second. But it was interesting. Like, they actually made those movies, like, in concurrence to each other. Like, they stopped filming X and then they immediately moved into Pearl, which is like, that's some Lord of the Rings shit. So the fact that they did that in a horror movie, and like, I haven't watched X in a while. I should watch it recently maybe, but or watch it here soon. But I mean, they used that same set. Like, they kept the setup and everything, and then they all right, let's do another movie here. T West did a fucking fantastic job. Mia Goth, just fucking brilliant performance, probably the best performance of hers I've ever seen. And she also helped write the screenplay. She did a lot of behind the scenes stuff with it. Yeah, man, just a fucking impressive movie. T West edited it, which, like, Yeah, I do kind of wonder sometimes, like with those edits, I'm like, did he really edit that, or did he like mostly edit it and have like 3 homies fucking just help with it, right? Because like, I mean, maybe he's educated in that. That would be awesome if he was. But like, there's kind of some things where you're like with the coloring and like how they edited certain things. Like, I feel like you would have to do. I don't know what his education is, but like I feel like you would have to do quite a bit of school in specifically editing, and like that technology moves so fast that you can't even keep up with it unless you're like in it, gridlocked in it. Like if I didn't have this podcast, that's probably what I'd be doing. I'd probably be gridlocked into whatever the new editing trend or program or whatever is. And I can never do that for myself. But no, Pearl's a fantastic movie. It's way better than its predecessor, in my opinion. It's just a better plot. It's more just everything. Better acting. It's very stylistic, like beautifully stylistic, and just a really well done film. So I highly recommend watching Pearl. I think you can find it on Showtime for free, or Showtime / Paramount if you have that. I think we technically watch it through Paramount, but they kind of have like a duo thing. I don't know why they don't just. I mean, I guess Showtime's kind of established, but I don't know why they don't just quit. Just like sell that shit and fucking make your money, man. Fuck. Who watches Showtime anymore? Look, like you were fucking relevant 20, 30, 40 years ago, and it was awesome. But like now, just fucking hand that shit in, man. Take the cash shit out. That's what I fucking say. Where are we at? Okay. Long enough. I think with my shit, if you were to subtract 10 minutes from that, probably, I think it was about 8 minutes shit. I think I shit for about 8 minutes, which is not bad. I remember cross country, we used to like, we'd have to take like 5-minute shits. You'd be the guy to take a shit, and there'd be like a line of 30 people at a stall. I'm sure some people like took a shit in the woods because we'd be in this golf courses and stuff, right? Like I'm sure there's one motherfucker who just like brought some toilet paper with him, found a pond, and just bloop. What's your best shit story? Put it in the comments. All right, guys. Another episode. I've been doing this for a while. Fuck. In February, we'll be at the 4 years, so maybe I'll have to do something for that 4-year anniversary. I don't know, everybody. I wish you could talk to me. I wish you listening could talk to me right now and tell me what's on your mind, and that we could dissect it. But unfortunately, we can't. I took a guess at what's on your mind, and I tried to talk about it, but I don't know. Maybe it worked, maybe it didn't. Guys, Macau Stars podcast every Monday at 7 p.m. And check out our other 2 podcasts, the Unhinged and Uncensored podcast with Lolo Savage, premiering every Tuesday at 2 p.m., as well as the Guts and Gore podcast with me and my co-host Molly, where we dissect and talk about horror movies, which premieres every Thursday at 2 p.m. Yeah, go check me out. Go check us out. All right. Have a good night, everybody. Peace.